Just like the teal mask was an item, the Indigo disc was a literal Indigo disc. This was no surprise to me as I mentioned it multiple times during my streams, but of course everything else around it, just like much of Scarlet and Violet's plot, was left untold as Game Freak was very keen on keeping us without answers for the most part. So hey, I'm not so a strainer, and who gave Geeta the Indigo disc? Let's get into it. The Indigo disc was given to us by Geeta right before we ventured down Area Zero with Briar, Carmine and Kieran. We are told by La Primera that this was given not to her but to another investor by someone that worked in Area Zero as a researcher. According to Geeta, this happened some time ago, but we do know that 10 years ago was when the professor was able to actually do something with Terra energy and invent the Terra Orb. And we also know that this was what let them go back into the Great Crater. Despite this, they are not the only researchers to ever be down there. After all, 200 years ago, the expedition happened, likely with no discs involved, but 87 years ago, a research facility was actually built there, so the disc could have come from then as well. Still, it would just add another string to the plot, and I think there are enough strings already. So let's focus on those we know worked down there. Clavel, possibly Jack, and the two professors. One of them did it. And I think it was the opposing professor, but I do believe that they did it because something was going on down there. The Indigo disc is not only the way to find terapagos, but it also is the way to stop the evolution of Terra crystals in the crater. You remove terapagos, you likely make sure that it doesn't evolve past what we have right now. We've seen how it expands and who knows how far it can go. They didn't really understand what that energy does, just like we still don't really know. They knew it was dangerous though, but if they knew so, why didn't they send it to the Pokémon League? She tells us that that was sent to an investor, not to them. So there's a mystery investor interested in Terra energy that whoever leaked that disc preferred to have them than our good old Geeta. I believe that it was because the Pokémon League would use all of that for battles, and they do, it's what we do in Paldea, Terra Orbs all the way. But the others wouldn't do that. But who are the others? Well, it's impossible to actually know, but through what Terapagos can actually do to the showcase that we got of Terapagos powers, we might speculate about something here. When we have our cutscene with Professor Sada Orturu handing them the book written by Briar, we find out that the timelines are messed up. Arvan was born after Pokemon were brought from the time machine, but then Arvan was already born and the professor admits to failure basically. Still, there's a way to explain it. They're trying to access different timelines, not time travel, but access those timelines in order to pick Pokemon from there and bring it to our timeline. Knowing this, we can start thinking, what other corporations in the Pokemon world are trying to mess up timelines, or at least mess up with timelines? Well, I can think of two, the Aether Foundation in Alola because of the Ultra Beats, and I think this one is more of a they won't do no harm to anyone thing, and that's the Devon Corporation in Hoenn. While not really messing with timelines, the things they create can 100% do that, as we see it in the Delta episode. And while they eventually settled for Infinity Energy created from the Ultimate Weapon, they might once had interest in other kinds of energy. Call this moment another one of those, oh, is that a Terra Crystal in another region? But is that a Terra Crystal behind Mr. Stone? Their work was more appealing. They had innocent goals, harmless to the world. Using that power to make their gadgets work better would not be dangerous. But maybe after developing Infinity Energy and seeing how stable it was, they decided to stop backing Terra research. After all, the professor's journals say that the unstable nature of the crystals made their corporate backers fret. And I think that's when it happened. It also made the other professor, the opposing one, fret. They gave the Indigo disc containing the access to the Underdepths to the ones they thought would do less harm, and disappeared. We still know nothing about where they are. After they gave up on the research, they sent what they had to Geeta, maybe by her request. She admits to us that she went down there herself to the Zero Lab, not once but a few times. She just never realized how to use the disc, which seems weird because the control panel kinda spoke to us. But either way, with Clavel out of the picture and with his lack of knowledge of what truly was happening down there, plus we're not even sure Jack was ever in Area Zero, one of the professors is even dead, so that leaves us with the opposing one, the one we know exists but left. Arvan's other parent, the one that isn't even acknowledged in the cutscene in the Crystal Pool. But this is if they were even part of the same timeline, because with the way things developed, I'm not even sure that's the case. Now if only we knew where or even when they are right now. And that is all I have for you today. Once again, a fresh take on the mystery of the opposing professor. But what about you? Who do you think the Indigo disc was sent to? Let me know in the comments down below. And now, like the video if you like it, dislike if you don't, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Pokemon content, and also ring the bell so you know when the next video is out. You can follow me on social media and Twitch, I stream there Wednesday to Friday, except in January. All the links are in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.